Everyone.
You are the mechanic of your business's success. Whatever the challenge, however unexpected, you find a way. Xero gives businesses the tools to take care of the numbers. Less time on accounting, more on what you love. Xero.
Hello everyone, my name is TC Kotzer, founder and owner of Revision Incorporated, and I started my firm in April this year. No, it's not an April Fool's joke, although my friends think so. Today, I'll be your referee and MC for this event. Yeah, so let's get into it. We've got a big question in my hand today, and the question is, which accounting software, cloud platform is the best for your business? And yes, and that's where we bring in Sage versus Xero. On the Sage side, we've got Celeste Summerton that will, with her passion about Sage, and now she does business. She's the owner of the Business Boutique, and she will tell her more why Sage is the software that you should go with. On the other side, we've got Willem Hoff, and he's an avid Xero user, and he will tell you why Xero is the best software. So without any further ado, how it will work, Celeste will start. She'll have around about 15 to 20 minutes to explain to you why she thinks Sage is the best, and after that, we'll give Willem a chance to see if he can prove her wrong. So without any further ado, over to you, Celeste.
Hi, TC. Thanks very much for that kind introduction. My name is Celeste Summerton. As TC said, I am the founding member of the Business Boutique based in Johannesburg, South Africa. And yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing my views on Sage. If you guys could just give me a second just to share my screen with you. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So welcome to our OnlineX, the Punch Up. I represent Team Sage. I'd like to reiterate at this stage that I'm not employed by Sage, but I'm absolutely passionate about the product. I use it in my business on a daily basis, and I'm going to take you through some of the reasons why I feel that this should be your choice when it comes to cloud accounting. So I'd like to start off just as a little poll. So get ready, guys. And yeah, Sage and Xero, guys, please get ready too, because I know you guys are all watching. So our first poll question for today is going to be, are you currently using a desktop accounting package? So it's a yes or a no, or if you are still using your books manually. So can we please get a vote on this poll before we start? Wow, okay, so yeah, Sage, Xero, guys, I hope you're watching. So we're saying 56% of us are still using desktop versions. 42% are not using desktop anymore, and 2% are still doing their books manually. Cool, thanks, guys. Right, okay. So one of the things that Willem and myself, or one of the only things that Willem and myself will probably agree on today would be the implementation of online software has to be fit for purpose. When I speak about fit for purpose, all our businesses are so different, and either one of these packages are going to work better for you. When I look at doing implementation, I look at the reverse engineering approach. So what I mean by that is I actually look at what I want to achieve. So do I want to have quite complex reporting, or is it a basic P&L that I want to pull in a balance sheet? And that kind of determines what kind of product I will use as well. One of the focuses too will be to incorporate your business processes into your accounting software. You'll hear me speak about ISV or app partners just now a little bit, but one of the focuses when implementing an online accounting software is to look at incorporating these business processes, because we want to try and streamline our business as much as possible. We need to also, if you're doing an implementation, if it's a basic implementation where you just want to look at getting information on your customers, your suppliers, your banking, you can do it yourself. But if you want to do a little bit of a more complex implementation where you are going to bring in your ISVs or your app partners, and you want to use end reporting as well, we always say look at speaking to a implementation specialist, and it would be somebody like myself or Willem. Okay, so I would like to get into another poll as well, and our second poll question for today would be: how important is it to have local support to help you when you are encountering difficulty? So it's a yes or a no question. So Soshi, if you could run that poll for us, that would be great. Okay, so it's a yes or a no, or it does not really bother me. Okay, perfect. What I wanted to hear. So how important is local support to help you when you encounter difficulty? 72% yes, 8% no, and there is a 20% does not really bother me. So I'm going to speak to you guys about that just now. Okay, so one of my sage advices is when you're doing a fit for purpose implementation, always look at a product that can support you and that has the availability to scale as your business grows. We all start our beautiful business ventures, and we all hope that they do grow, and most of them do. So when you're implementing, look at that. Go and look at the different kinds of products and see if those products can scale to your business. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to say to you when looking at completing your accounting journey, look at the available ISVs out there. ISVs refers to independent software vendors, or we call them app partners as well. My two favorites at the moment are Auto Entry and Sift Analytics. I hope these guys are watching too. Auto Entry will be used as an input where we look at sending supplier invoicing, expenses, supplier statements, and it really, I use it on a daily basis I had a good session with the auto entry guys this morning again. Yeah, fabulous ISV, and SIFT analytics in terms of reporting as well, really amazing. So again, look at fit for purpose, guys, and then go and look at these kinds of partners that can help you to streamline your business. Okay, so another thing we're going to look at, and Shoshi, if we can run another poll, and I promise you guys, this is my last poll for today. How are you about being price sensitive when it comes to choosing an accounting package? And it's a yes or a no. And you guys are going to see how these polls are going to come together soon. And again, I hope the Sage and Xero guys are listening to this. So are you price sensitive when it comes to choosing an accounting software? We'll just give it a few seconds. Yay, okay, 88% is yes and 12% is no. So fabulous. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. So that brings me to why do we choose Sage Business Cloud Accounting or Sage? Okay, so I do believe it is the only software that is scalable as my client's business grows. And the reason why I say that is, you know, we start with Sage Business Cloud Accounting, but we can scale it to Sage 50 Cloud Accounting. We can then scale to Sage X3. And Sage has very recently just brought the most phenomenal product, Sage Intacct, into the market. So Sage all the way. It can scale right from the guy that is going to be a small business entrepreneur right to our biggies. Locally compliant and aligned to SARS requirements. I always take COVID as an example, especially on the payroll side, when we had the whole TERS implications into our payroll software, and these guys were right on top of it all the time. We were able to do our payroll, comply with all our SARS requirements. One of my biggies as well, why I choose to use Sage more, is the compliance around VAT, the VAT 201s. You know, it's an easy report to read and just to put that into e-filing. And I'm also going to share with you some very exciting upcoming projects that Sage are busy working on at the moment. And number 3, real-time customer engagement. Guys, and I can't reiterate it that more. If I look at the Sage City, Sage University, I'm going to take you through some of that just now. And Sage boasts 100% reply rate on Sage City, which is their online support forum. These are the guys, if you are battling with support, they're the guys to speak to. One of my poll questions was, how important is support to you? The majority voted. And I can say to you, on my side, Sage 100% takes the cake on this one. But I'll have further the discussions with Willem about this later as well. And then one of my other poll questions as well, and you can see I was a little bit bold when I did these poll questions. But financially viable, guys, we're speaking randellas. We are paying our Sage subscription in randellas. So it doesn't matter what happens out there in the world, what Trump does, what Trump doesn't do, you know, and again, this speaks to our South African market. So thanks for helping me out on the polls. and I'm glad these are very important to you guys as well. Okay, so another big win for me is our integrated payroll. Fact, 80% of the South African workforce are being paid using a Sage solution. So yeah, guys, it's a no-brainer. If 80% of our workforce are being paid using a Sage solution, we integrate it so easily into our accounting package as well. To date, I'm not aware of a payroll that is owned by Xero. I know they have products, ISVs like Simple Pay that integrates. But yeah, this is a big plus for me. Also, their own integrated payment portal, Netcash. Very important to have these integrations as well. And we are very soon to be adding more options too, like SnapScan and oh wow, I hope I've said that correctly. And again, exciting features to be launched very soon. Why I say to you guys that, I know about these exciting features is I actually do sit on the product development team with the Sage guys, who are an amazing bunch of people. And they are passionate about their product, passionate about the South African market. And yeah, watch this space, guys. Right, so I'm going to speak about local compliance now. I've touched on it a little bit earlier on. The reporting makes the reporting in Sage on our VAT 201s, our EMP 201s, our EMP 501s, which is the submission is coming up at the end of this week. It makes it easier for our end users. Sage it's very exciting. They are currently working at doing a VAT 201 reconciliation that if you are a business owner and you're just starting off and you are not able to pay an accounting firm, you will be able to do these reconciliations, and you will be able to integrate it directly into the SARS e-filing platform. It is really very exciting, and I think it's exciting when it speaks to small business as well. So local compliance, very important to me. Sage, one of their, when I engage with the guys at Sage, they say one of their very important focuses in the South African market is deep compliance, which I believe is essential for the successful running of your business. We believe that they are at the forefront of this absolutely necessary requirement in South Africa to comply with all the local authorities as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go to local is lekker. And when I refer to this, guys, one of the polls as well was how important is local support to you. I can't sell these products enough. So you've got little Peg sitting there. Peg has been absolutely fabulous. She's a little robot that we ask questions to, and most of the time she's able to answer those questions to us. We can use her 24/7, and if she doesn't know our answers, she will send us to Sage City or to our resource center as well. One of the things that I really think the Sage guys did very well is as soon as we went into lockdown, they started offering free training on Sage University. I'm showing really again that they care about you know, their local market. Like I said, we can join conversations on Sage City as well, and they are boasting 100% reply rate, which I have not seen with a lot of our other products as well. The other thing that really speaks to our South African market is the Sage Foundation. They are really doing good work, especially during this, you know, this time of COVID, actively helping to, you know, build, or not build schools, but to see where there is a need with our local environment, and helping out as much as possible. And yeah, I didn't say local is lacquer, but I mean, you can see there. And I think that's really, really important for us as business owners as well. In South Africa, we want to support our, you know, our local products as well that really, really are trying to engage with us, trying to help us as well. And yeah, so right. So I think what's important for me, for you to take out is Sage really looks at the basic business management features. So you'll have it all there. If I look at the terminology that they use, a lot of you, if you guys are business owners and you're thinking, am I going to go Sage? Am I going to go Xero? With Sage, you know, their terminology is easy. So when you're logging onto your Sage version, you can see a customer is a customer, a supplier is a supplier, and banking speaks to our cash books. So it really makes it easy for you to understand the terminology and to take care of your day-to-day running of your business. Very exciting product that was launched was Debtors Management. I've used it. It's a fabulous product if you're battling, especially during these times of COVID, with getting that money in. It's really a fabulous tool to use. Perpetual Inventory that was launched in May. You know, it was one of the little bit of the downfalls on Sage in terms of having items or inventory models, but it not being perpetual yet. And it's also a beautiful product that's working. Multi-currency is there. Time trackers there, you know, to track your time and to invoice properly. And like I say, I engaged with the product development team very, very often. What I really like about them with this engaging is they're listening to us and they're innovating with us all the time. Yeah, so I think that is me on the Sage side. I look forward to hearing what Willem has to say and answering some of your questions. Yeah, guys, it's an exciting journey that you are all going on at the moment, and I hope this has given you some insight of why you need to go Team Sage. Cool. TC, I think it's over to you again.
Thank you, Celeste. Yeah, thank you for that insightful presentation. Just on the questions, I see that Samuel asked that he hasn't received an answer yet. We'll answer it in the last 20 minutes of the webinar. But first, let's give Willem Marov a chance to defend Xero. Willem is the owner and co-founder of Debtors Accounting. He prefers people doing their business and that there's minimal admin in any company that he assists. So Willem, I think at this stage you're in a fairly hairy predicament here. I hope you can get out. Over to you, man.
Hi there, good afternoon, everyone. And Celeste, thank you very much for your presentation. I can certainly see there's some exciting new features that were recently added to Sage, which is great. But we believe that the clients don't buy features, they buy solutions. And we must never, ever lose sight of this important fact. So as TC said, my name is Willem Haroff, and I'm the co-founder and the CEO of the Go-Getters Group. And we're very clear and singular in our focus in that Xero is our solution of choice. And so I want to take a few minutes today to share some of the reasons. There's many, but I only have time for a few. Some of the reasons we love using Xero. So I'm looking forward to this journey. So before we start, let's also do a quick poll. I want you to consider how you feel about the following statement. When I think of the work involved in keeping my business finances and compliance up to date, I feel like I prefer not to say, I'm about to visit the dentist for root canal treatment, or I feel like a child with a new toy. Right, so 17 people prefer not to say, thanks for that. 37 people don't want to go to the dentist, I presume, and a whopping 46 people, just like me, love accounting, it seems. So I'm very happy to hear that, and therefore I think you'll be very excited to hear what I'm going to say next. Now, when you look at this picture, I'm sure that emotion that you see unfolding on the screen resonates with you. When I look at it, what I see are customers, my customers, people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. And every time I have those discussions, I know and I feel the difficulty that goes with having to make a high-stakes decision about the future of your business, but you don't have the information that you need. You can't trust the information, it's too late. It may not be accurate, you're not even sure. And I understand those frustrations. It's really associated with the feel of, I'm not sure if I'm up to date with my compliance, my books don't balance. And the stakes of getting that wrong is way too high for us as business owners to get it wrong. We can't afford it. Or potentially making a decision that would mean that you've bitten off more than you can chew. And if you get it wrong, you can very easily submit inaccurate, incomplete, or invalid information to your regulatory authorities. We all know that, we all get that. And that could result in you potentially losing money, or even we could be held criminally liable if we get things wrong. We just simply can't afford that. When I think of my business and the finance related to that, I'm part of the 46, 47% of you who's like a child that's about to unwrap that beautiful new Lego set that I'm going to build. I can't wait to build it. In fact, I have to go to sleep at some point. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I can't wait to go and look at that thing again, break it down, build it all over again. And that is how I feel about when I work in Xero. I can't find a better way to explain my love affair with Xero. And I believe that every business owner should feel the same way about their accounting. And this question lies pretty much at the center of why Go-Getters love Xero. So unlike Celeste, I'm not really going to focus on all the cool features that Xero can do. There's so many. And as a matter of fact, if I have to be brutally honest, from a features perspective, there's very little that can really differentiate all the tools that are out there today. All the tools can do your debits and credits. All the features like Debtors Management, multi-currency, time tracker, those are all things that should actually be there. You shouldn't get excited about those features. It should be part of the standard offering of any solution. And that's why Xero has always had it. And that's why I believe they are the leader when it comes to features. On the contrary, I believe it's more important for us to focus on the reasons why we use Xero. And I'm going to share with you 3 of the ideas why it's for us a love affair, which is really how it makes us or helps us and our clients to grow better. The first reason I want to offer is the whole idea about the fact that Xero is a global digital platform. And I'm choosing my words very carefully today. Xero is not just another piece of accounting software. When you talk about accounting software, immediately in my mind, I'm thinking there must be a server somewhere. I'm thinking, oh dear, I've got to get regular software updates. I've got to worry about physical security. Who's going to be able to break in and steal my data? And all those kind of things. I have to worry about being technically up to date with all of those all the technology that goes with it. And you know, as a Celeste extracted the data, 56%, 60% of us out there still don't operate in the cloud. So this is a real important value proposition in the sense that you can go onto a digital platform. And so for those other software solutions that has gone to the cloud, that's great. That is definitely the way to go. And there's fortunately a lot more opportunity, for people to make the change. But Xero is a platform. Now, why is that important? Xero, most of you probably know, can integrate with over 800 apps. Now, in the previous presentation, we heard about the ability to scale your business. And the way that you would scale the business is to move from one version of Sage to another version of Sage to another version of Sage. And to be honest, I find that quite confusing because I'm not quite sure which product I'm busy using. Sage is a single product. It's a single global infrastructure. Whatever change is made for the entire infrastructure. And in fact, when changes are being made or when updates to the software are made, you don't even know it. It just happens without any business interruption. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that? So in terms of scaling the business, it's very, very easy. You start with Xero. Xero can provide all the basic functionality that the startup business would require. But because of its ability to integrate with so many different apps, you are also able to scale, but much better, much more efficient. And what's more, you've got both choice and flexibility in how you want to scale. You don't have to move from one level of product to the next level of product. You're already in the product. And now because you are on one single platform, you can look out there to whatever app might be available that's really, if I can use the same terms, fit for purpose for your business. So it gives you incredible choice and flexibility. And therefore, you as the business owner, you've got control over how you manage your business, not the other way around. And with the single platform idea, you've got a lot more efficiency that's built into your day-to-day operations. Here's a few examples of what I'm talking about. If you're a restaurant, in the top left-hand corner, I've given you an illustration of what that integrated solution would look like. You've got Xero at the center. You can connect with your bank. You've got Receipt Bank. You've got Simple Pay. You've got Swift. So those are all apps that everybody knows. And again, when we talk about features, I don't get too excited because it should always be assumed that it's there. It's what you can do with it. And then there's an app that can help you automate your restaurant business in terms of managing stock, managing the recipes, because that's the key problem a restaurant wants to solve. Or you're a retail business with an online store. We've all heard of Shopify and Vend probably. So those can also integrate with Xero. So you simply plug and play. Or if you are an electrician or a plumber or some sort of a air conditioner services provider, whatever you want to do from a job costing perspective, there's an app for that as well. So I believe with Xero as a platform, there's many, many ways, in fact, too many ways that I can think of that you can use Xero as a platform to help you streamline your business. It's literally like a white canvas. And what's cool about this is you don't have to even reverse engineer anything. All you need to do is to think about what process do I need for my business to make money. You draw that picture on a white canvas. You go and place Xero at the center. You choose your apps, you integrate them, and Bob's your uncle. Who wouldn't want to have that solution? So let's do another poll. How do you feel about the following statement? The words beautiful and accounting belong in the same sentence. Can we have that poll coming up, please? So the options are, what are you smoking, dude? Or, I would love to see and experience that. Or, I don't really care, my accountant must just get on with it. Great, so 11% of us wants to smoke something, 72% really would like to see the words beautiful and accounting in the same sentence. And I totally agree with you. So let's do a bit of a deep dive into that. I love that video promotion of Xero. It's just so different, and it's just so speaks to what Xero stands for and what they represent. And I love the idea that it's on the go. It talks to the fact that there's no business disruption. The business owner keeps on going, even though it's only on 2 wheels. And you get the Xero support, which is really a multi-dimensional type of support to come alongside and help the business to continue to move forward. I just absolutely love it. So that's my second point. Xero's aim is really to make business as easy and as beautiful as it comes. And I really believe, and I'm living it, that Xero, not only in South Africa, but globally, is the leader in providing kick-ass features in the digital accounting space. And there are three ideas I just want to highlight. I mean, there's many, but I'll just look at 3. I like the number 3. So first of all, in the area of pricing, the pricing is simple. You use one product, you pay one price for it, unlimited users, and you can just get flying. I find other pricing solutions out there to be pretty confusing. You sort of got an entry-level price that really speaks to those of us who are really, really price sensitive, and that's an important factor. But I think the question that is being asked is the wrong question. I actually don't think the question is, are you price sensitive? I think the question is, are you value sensitive? What value are you going to get? Now, I want to tell you a quick story. I love accounting, that you may have noticed that. I don't really care too much for cars, although when a flashy car comes by, I would notice, but that's the end of it. I've got a very good relationship with my father-in-law. He absolutely loves cars. And he knows the insides and outs, and he's also influenced my 11-year-old son, who also happens to love cars. Now, if it depends on me, I'm quite happy to pay 50,000 Rand for an old second-hand car, because all I really need it for is to go from point A to point B. That's all I need. So sometimes I get a bit concerned, or I think about, why would somebody be willing to pay 750,000 or 500,000, whatever the case might be, for a 4x4 Toyota Hilux or a Ford Ranger? And I also don't work for those companies, by the way. I don't know why I mentioned those two in the same sentence. But anyways, those two cars, are quite expensive. And I had a similar discussion with my father-in-law one day, and he said to me, why do you worry so much what you pay for it? It's not the question you should be asking. The question you should be asking is, what can you do with that vehicle? And so if I had to go out and buy a 50,000 Rand car to go and do 4x4 off-roading, I would have just wasted 50,000 Rand. And that's the point I want to make. The pricing should not really be the issue. The issue should be, how much time are you going to save when you use the right tool that is fit for purpose and that can operate across a single global platform that's going to help you scale much quicker and much more efficiently. The other idea that I want to introduce is the idea of what is in our field commonly referred to as code-free accounting. What is that all about? Code-free accounting is the idea of being excellent at regulating the flow of data into your business's ecosystem or financial information system, so that you can get to that point of understanding what the numbers say as quickly as possible. And so you can imagine, if that's the objective, if you have to employ an army of people to capture data manually, it's going to waste time. So you want to have all sorts of tools in place to get to that point as soon as possible. So this is a little bit more on the feature side, I agree, and there's not much differentiation, except for the fact that Xero was first in all of these areas, and they've been doing this for many, many years. In the UK, Xero was the first platform to integrate directly, not with only one bank, with most of the banks in the UK. Xero was the first to integrate and to create direct bank feeds with banks, and it's now also the first to have a direct bank feed. And if you get into the whole area of bank feeds, there's a whole discussion about the types of bank feeds. I'm not going to get into that right now, but they first. Receipt Bank. Everybody would have probably heard of Receipt Bank. It's one of those apps that helps you to automate the capturing of data. Receipt Bank was the first, more than 10 years ago, to integrate with Xero. So this is stuff that's been going on for a long time. So Xero's already gone a long way to perfect this whole idea of code-free accounting. And of course, it's a mobile app-enabled solution. So you don't always have to have your laptop with you. You just take your phone or your tablet, and you can get by doing most of the day-to-day things that you would necessarily have to dedicate a fixed block of time to. Now you can do it, especially for those of us who tend to queue at home affairs and have to go and renew a motor vehicle license. I mean, who wouldn't want to redeem the time when you're waiting in those queues? And then the third point I want to emphasize is the whole idea of the flexibility around the plug-and-play environment. And this kind of speaks back to the whole idea of the apps, the choice and the flexibility that you have around the apps that you can integrate with. You don't only have the option of selecting from the third-party apps. In fact, Xero has even gone so far as to say, you know what, we will make our source code freely available online so that whoever of you have a need to integrate with us via an alternative way that's not already on our marketplace, you can go and develop whatever you want, and you can use that code to establish your own integrations. And as we speak, we already have a list of clients that has done that. They couldn't find an app that suits their needs. They've looked at the process of their business that's already been engineered, and all they want to do is they want to automate the process that they've already engineered. They've written their own apps, and now they've integrated, and now their business is seamless. But even more exciting, let's talk about support for business owners. How many of you know how difficult it is to obtain funding from a bank in South Africa? If you ask me, I can be very uncomplimentary, and I probably shouldn't do that. That's not the purpose of this discussion. But there's two examples, two companies in South Africa. One is called Bridgement. The other one is called LulaLend. Those are both short-term funding solution providers. And guess what? They can both integrate with Xero. And I have personal first-hand experience with both companies, myself and our clients. After connecting with their platform, the money that we've applied for was in our bank the very next day. Very flexible repayment terms, problem solved. By the time the banks got back to us, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they want to have the size of your underpants. Sorry, that's uncalled for, but you get the drift. So this whole idea of plug and play, because you've got this global platform, you have the ability to do these kind of magic tricks to help you get ahead in business and to make sure you succeed. So I think the benefits of these ideas are, speak for themselves. You can plan better. You know what you're in for from a cost perspective. You save significant amounts of time, and you can really drive your business. That's what it's important. You don't want to worry about what feature works the best. You want to worry about the strategy of your business. How do you grow? How do you make more profit? How do you turn that profit into cash flow? How do you make sure that the quality of your products and services remain top of mind? So before I conclude with my last point, let's do one more poll. And I want you to think, how would you respond to the next question? I need a solution that will give me time back in my pockets so that I can focus on what is really important, and that is becoming human again. Great. Got the votes in. Excellent. I agree. Where do we sign up? So let's wrap up with a third point. And really now I want to focus on that whole idea of becoming human again. And there's a bit of irony in there. With technology increasing, artificial intelligence and machine learning and all those things, most of us kind of have the tendency of running for the hills, partly because we don't really know what it's all about. We're scared of change, whatever the reason might be. I mean, I can still remember when in the late 90s, Y2K, people wrote books about how the world's going to end, you know, when the computers can't, you know, count beyond 31st December 1999. So there's always going to be those fears, but people are scared of technology. And we have embraced technology, and specifically, we have embraced Xero. And what we've discovered in doing that, with all the time saving, we were actually able to free up a lot more time to do the stuff that really matters. And that's getting back to the point of engaging with people. You can have all the tech in the world, but if you miss that human-to-human touch, you're going to miss the boat completely. And this is perhaps, in my estimation, the most important reason why I would vote for Xero, because they just get it. They totally just get it. I mean, collectively in our business, we've been using Xero since 2012, 2013. And it took Xero, since when they started, I think that was 2009, 2008, nearly a decade to reach 1 million subscribers globally. And in the last 18 months, they've moved from 1 million to 2 million subscribers. So to use the argument that 80% of South Africa's workforce are being paid by a Sage product, I don't believe one should get excited if that is the basis why you're using a solution. That's not a strong argument. If you go onto social media today and you look at the list of the richest people that lived 30 years ago and with where they are today compared to the now richest people, or the most famous brands, they may have been monsters in their day. They may have been the giants. But as time passed, as innovation happened, as they started to fall behind with innovation, they were no longer the leaders in the pack. So I really believe that the reason why you choose a solution should not be because it's the biggest out there. That's the same as, you know, if you think back to schoolyard days, the bully in the school being the fastest, the strongest, the cleverest, standing up and telling everybody about all those beautiful attributes about themselves. Well, nobody's really interested about that. What they really want to know is, how are you going to solve their problem, and how are you going to help their business get ahead of the pack? And for us, Xero really managed to create a beautiful, beautiful culture, and it's something that really resonates very strongly with us. And it's all about collaboration and encouragement. Whether you're a partner of Xero like we are, or whether you're a business owner that uses Xero, that culture comes through very, very strongly. And just a few examples. In terms of support, Xero's got an e-learning platform. It's called Xero Learn. It's got a whole host of learning resources. Those resources has always been free. You've never had to pay for it. Xero's top management globally in the last 12 to 18 months came out themselves, exposing their own vulnerabilities in terms of their own mental well-being challenges and how they're managing in their lives, really taking a leading role in showing or helping people to deal with their own challenges. That's just phenomenal. They don't just talk about it, they live it. In terms of converting to Xero, there's multiple tools and apps available that Xero pays for to help you convert to Xero. In terms of other online resources, if you don't feel comfortable with what app should I use for my business, they've got a whole directory of app integration partners that you can simply press the button, they will call you and they will help you. If you wonder, depending on the type of business, you're a manufacturer, how should you integrate Xero with other apps? There's various playbooks out there, online, freely available. In terms of the Xero network, and this is really, I think, the closest to my heart, where in the world would you see competing companies helping one another? Now, my experience since I've become a Xero partner has just been absolutely phenomenal. Not only has Xero been very helpful to support us in our business growth, but the other Xero partners, who happens to be my competition, have encouraged us, have helped us, have referred clients to us, and vice versa. I mean, that's incredible. All of a sudden, we're in this environment where we think, you know what, there's no one person in this world that can ever claim a monopoly on knowledge and innovation. We're all in it together. And that's one of the key features why I'm so passionate about Xero, is this culture that they drive, that we're not alone, we collaborate, we encourage, we help one another. And so when I reflect on these reasons, one thing is crystal clear.
Willem, we need to wrap up now. And
This
move
is
to Q&A. So, yeah, thanks. I mean, I can see you're very passionate about Xero, and I must say that was a very good comeback from your side. We've got a few minutes left. There's quite a few questions that we've seen on the, you guys sent through to us. We will not be able to answer all of them, but we will make sure that we get back to all of you guys on the questions, and send it to you individually where we run out of time. So we're going to jump straight into the Q&A. Just a quick rule, so we want to try and keep this as short as possible. Maximum 60 seconds for each question. I'll give each one of you a chance to answer the questions. Otherwise, I'll direct where there's specific questions on specific software, I'll direct that specifically to that person. Yeah, so let's start. First of all, I want to say thanks to Musi. I think, Musi, you're the biggest Sage fan, in this group. And then we run to Samuel. So Samuel's got very good questions here. He's asked on Sage, Celeste, maybe if you can answer here, and then we can give a chance to Willem. The first one is, where can we find a detailed training guide? And then the second one is Xero and Sage SaaS compliant on the basis of doing recons like IT14 SDs, EMP 201 recons, and submissions like that? Over to you, Celeste.
Hi, TC. Thanks very much. Okay, so in terms of the training manuals, like I've mentioned, if you go to Sage University for your training needs, and then if you go to Sage City or Sage Resource Center, what also helps sometimes is if you're in the product and you're battling with a question, ask Peg. You'll see her popping up there, yeah, if she can't answer any question, she will actually direct you to the Sage City or the Resource Center. So I hope that helps. In terms of IT14 SD, like I've mentioned just now, we're busy on the VAT 201 reconciliation, and that will plug in directly into SARS e-filing. But yeah, I'm going to take note of the IT14 SD reconciliations. Just if I can go on to Sage Business Cloud Accounting with the EMP 201 and the 501 reconciliations, those recons compared to the other payroll products are amazing. So that's me.
Thank you, Celeste. Quickly over, Willem, 60 seconds.
Thanks very much. I've just typed the URL for the Xero support and training resources. It's central.xero.com. Single place to go to. You'll find everything you need there. If that's not good enough, you can log on to xero.com and look for any of the Xero partners who would be more than willing and happy to assist you. In terms of the tax compliance question, I believe the idea of saying an accounting solution is SaaS or tax compliant is probably a little bit difficult for me to wrap my mind around. It's about how you set up your chart of accounts and how you generate your reports. Notwithstanding, Xero has already released its own VAT 201 reconciliation solution. So that completely removes the sting from that bi-monthly or monthly VAT reconciliation process. The only next step is the actual integration with SARS with e-filing. Don't know how long that's gonna be. Yeah.
Thank you, Willem. The next question is, I think one question that popped up quite often is, where can the online accounting software talk to each other? Is it possible to move from one online system to the other one? And how do you do it? Yeah, Willem, if you can start, 60 seconds.
Thank you for that. So if you're not on a Xero platform, to convert to Xero is very easy. There's more than one way that one can do that. There is an app that Xero sponsors and pays for, which is called Cloud Convert. So you can just go and Google Cloud Convert, and it can convert your QuickBooks, Pastel, Sage files into a Xero file within 2 days. Sometimes it takes a bit faster, but that process is very efficient. That's one of the ways in which it can be done. There's other ways as well, which I won't get into. It's a bit more on the feature side, but it is definitely possible. And during lockdown, we have had a number of ex-Sage users wanting to convert to Xero, where we've helped them in a very short space of time to convert.
Yeah, TC. Okay, so very quickly as well. I think the conversions are easy between the platforms as well. We've also got a Cloud Convert program and other conversion methods as well. So I think they've really streamlined it in both of the programs to make the take onto cloud accounting a lot easier.
Thank you, Willem and Celeste. Last question, and then guys, remember to stand to vote to see you through the knockout punch. So the last question is about security, and how does Sage and Xero ensure that the information that I put onto the cloud solution is secure and safe? Thank you, Celeste.
Oh, sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Yeah, TC, I think it is something that always is brought up as a concern, and looking at it from the back end. I'm not that familiar with all the back end, but I know that on both of the products they do assure us of the utmost security, and they're working on that. On a daily basis to ensure that all of our information is secure.
From a Xero perspective, all you need to do is to go to xero.com. At the bottom left-hand part of the website, there's a link that talks about Xero security features. Xero obviously takes security extremely seriously, because its business is about the protection of data. If they don't get that right, they don't have a business. And believe me, there's nobody that I know that's more serious about the long-term survival of the business than Xero. But essentially what it boils down to is that the data is very, very secure. The terms I like to use when I describe security is bank-grade security. They essentially store the data on multiple data centers around the world. They encrypt data that goes from one data center to the next with multi-layered encryption. And the reason for the multiple data centers is a very important basic insurance principle of reinsurance. You want to make sure that the same data is kept in different servers in different geographies, different time zones, north, south, so that if there's a catastrophic event, the data will always still be retrievable. The question that people should be asking is not so much whether their data is secure, because look, if somebody wants to hack you, they're going to get it right. They've been able to hack the Pentagon, and that's supposedly the most safest place. The question that you should be asking is, how do you manage your passwords? That's the key question. And if you're one of those people who use the same password for every single app that you use, you're in trouble. You need to rethink that. And guess what? There's an app for it. The app is called LastPass. Go and Google it. It's a beautiful app. We use it. It operates like a vault to store all your passwords, so you need not remember it. You just need to remember one phrase.
Is it an add-on, Willem?
No, it's not an add-on, but it's just another app that you basically put on your web browser, and it manages all the access.
Okay, cool.
How do you manage? I see there's one of the questions that's coming through is how do you manage all the apps that dial into either Xero or Sage if something goes wrong in one of those apps? And are they secure enough, not only from a Xero point of view or Sage point of view, but also from the external app side?
So one thing about Xero is they're extremely protective and careful with how they manage their data. So the whole idea of having a third-party app get into your ecosystem to either collect data or to push data in is highly regulated within the Xero environment. And so for you as an app developer to just be listed on a platform such as the Xero marketplace is extremely difficult. The amount of hoops that you've got to jump through to get there is incredible, because there's all sorts of things that you've got to make sure. You've got to make sure you get the same customer experience, the same data security protocols, a lot of things. It's very difficult. And in fact, you've got to have more than R1 million worth of budget for that to work so that you can be on that platform. If you're not on that platform, you can still integrate, but then it's your own integration. And then it's not something that as a user you'll be exposed to, because the reason you would use your own tool is because you've got control over it. So the same principles that applies for Xero in terms of its security would apply to those app partners as well.
TC, just one of the things that I saw coming through on all the chats is a question of, are all these add-ons included in the Xero cost? And I mean, Willem, you can just, speak to the guys as well. But I think that is one of the questions that we have to answer is no. And a lot of those plugins are, very pricey. And that's what people have to understand. So I think it's very important to, when you're looking at those plugins or looking at the holistic picture, go and look at the plugins that you want to use, and go and see if it does speak to you in terms of costing as well.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. You have to, when you make a change in business, you have to absolutely count all the costs before you make a decision. When a business makes such changes, that cost is usually expressed as an investment, because it's a capital change that you make, which then holds the promise of future value that you're going to create. So I again would like to offer that the question we're asking is not how much it costs. The question we should be asking is, once we've accumulated and counted all the costs, how much value are we going to be able to derive through savings of time, efficiencies, scaling? And remember, you're not going to get all those apps for your business on day one. You start at zero and you build your way up. So as the business grows, as you become more sophisticated, you're going to find that you spend too much time doing manual things just because the size of the business is such that it becomes untenable. That's the point when you then need an app. So that point you say, am I going to employ somebody for 20,000 or 10,000 Rand, or am I going to pay 3,500 Rand for the app? So that's the way we typically analyze it. But you have to look at the entire process that you want to manage, and then what's the most cost-effective way in which you're going to automate and engineer that process.
Okay. So we need to wrap up. So I think it's time to throw the final punch. Why is your accounting software platform the best? Willem, 30 seconds.
Sorry, I forgot my mute button there. All I want to say is, just like Maria von Trapp, who's saying that she's confident, I'm also confident, but not about the rain and the sunshine, but about the fact that I know you can use beautiful and accounting in the same sentence using Xero.
Celeste.
TC, I think our markets or our listeners today summed it up for me. To me, support is, local support is very important. I don't believe we get that kind of support with Xero. 88% of the people said it is important. And 88% also are very price sensitive. And it is definitely the right product for this kind of market.
Okay. I want to thank both of you for your time and the presentations. Yeah, so if everyone who attended, if you can just answer that question, who delivered the knockout punch today? Is it Willem with Xero or Celeste with Sage? I don't think I've ever seen a ball run like this 50% right down in the middle. So yeah, guys.
We have to do another one, Willem.
Well, all I want to say is that 80% of people may be using Sage, but the power is shifting. It's now 50-50. So next time we speak, it's going to be the other way around.
Watch this space.
Sure.
I want to thank you guys for your time. Yeah, it was quite interesting. I've learned a lot about both Xero and Sage, and yeah, I think it's the way forward to go. Focus on business and let the software do the talking.